Hey guys, Dylan from Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to My Hero Academia Season 8, Episode 2, titled The End of an Era and the Beginning. All Might receives help from an unexpected source when Stain joins him in the battle against All for One. So, as we saw in the end of the last episode, Stain was able to procure some of All for One's blood from just a random rock from the battlefield and was able to stagnate him in the with his ability. Now, I do want to quickly look up MHA state. What I forget what the specifics of his quirk were. Like I know there's a different um ability depending, like it's a different time depending on what their blood type is. B represents the longest, then decreased with A, B, A, and then O. Like I knew that was what it was. I just couldn't remember what um the like actual order of it was. And huh. Okay. So depending on what All for One's blood type is, could be very quickly overcomes, or they could have a long time to wail on him. So, let's just get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. Starting back in the sakura trees. Where are my subtitles? Ah, they're up in the corner. Yes. Ah, there we go. So that's baby All Might and his mum. All of the flames of heroism that he cultured and inspired. Wasn't this the ending of the last episode? I mean, it did feel more like an opening than an ending, but is that how it's been in the other seasons? Because I don't remember it being like that. Like, usually there's a recap episode, and I don't know if that has, like, the opening or the closing, but the first episode usually has the opening as the opening. Look at how beat up everyone is. it was pointed out that his look in this with the half destroyed Hercules suit is sort of reminiscent to how he was at Camino, the half transformed after the battle. To be fair, that is a little bit of a dirty fight tactic. Very interesting that Stain was watching these two specifically. Hmm. I don't know if that's how that works. Because I forget, like, he approved of Deku back in the Hero Killer arc. I think he was sort of iffy on Todoroki, and he didn't like Ida. So to see at the end of it, he was keeping an eye on Ida and Todoroki. But here's the thing, he's still asking All Might to kill him. I've always had issues. Why is that a quirk? I mean, I guess, um, technically Vlad King has something similar. Yeah, that's a little bit of an issue. If his quirk works on licking the blood, and you don't have any of the same blood, that doesn't work. I had forgotten about the whole antigen swap until I was trying to look up All for One's blood type to see how long it would affect. I thought it was O because of the whole it um wears off quickly because I knew he wasn't out of commission for long. And there goes Stain. Even his AI wants him to win. Note that we can see his eyes. Hmm. Okay, we can see his eyes fully even now. I thought that only came into effect after the war. Maybe I was wrong about the quirks being rewinded. I guess, yeah, technically, since he no longer has the original of any of the quirks, he shouldn't have any in a rewound form if that was how it worked, so. So apparently um, you could just say no. With strong enough will, you can resist being teleported. I forgot how he, it was interfered with to stop the teleportation happening. I knew All for One had to physically get there. I just couldn't remember the minute details. Why did he have a almost see Anya face? Haven't you seen what happens when? Oh yeah, because he was wanting him to do that last season. I was gonna say, haven't you seen what happens when he goes batshit? I'm pretty sure crying at this stage would be appropriate. If that fiery image of All Might is fading, that only means one thing. The, sequ- the sequences of this is all jumbled in my mind, because if he's fading, that means he's dying, so he can't be there at the end to have had his eyes seen. So it must have been this part. One part we hadn't seen before. What was it he said? When a hero gets desperate, they are most unpredictable. They are scarier than any villain. I was I did note when he was crawling on the ground, he still had the piece of armor, but I wasn't gonna speak about it because that was meant to symbolize Bakugo, very similar to his um gauntlets. Okay, why did he do that? Yeah, it's no longer stabilized. And here we have Star's brothers in arms. And Akbar. Yet another person praying for what's happening over in Japan. That's two now. Rip him in half. And there he is. You can still see a bit of edge shot stitch work across his chest. That's why I started going like this, because I remembered that this was about the time that Bakugo um came back into it. What is this fucking Bakugo? The end of an era and the beginning. Okay, so this is the ending. Yeah, I remembered that it was once All for One reached UA, or at least within range, was when Bakugo like stood back up. Like Edge Shot was able to revise him and everything. Because for all intents and purposes, Bakugo was dead. Like full, no heartbeat, no breath, no nothing. And because Edge Shot basically did this thing, it's like, hey, this will probably kill me. But I can go in and save this kid's life because he is probably more important than Edge Shot in his mind. So far, this credit's pretty much just been going through the entirety of the last season. Well, season 7 at least. Interesting. Oops, nope. So yeah, this was the end of the All Might All for One. I didn't realize there was still so much left of those two at the end of the last. Because I'll admit, I by this point, and the issues I was having with the website that I was able to get them off of, I didn't actually read these as they were coming out. I had Zonen's chapter breakdowns and everything as they were coming out, but it wasn't until like it was all done pretty much. Like there was still the epilogue and everything that I just read through the entirety of this final battle in one. Like pretty much from I think Kanita's defeat. No, no, it was before that. May have been from Bakugo's death to the very end, just within a day. So all of this, I have the broad strokes, and I know like everything that happens. It's just some small things are getting jumbled up, and some of the smaller details are getting lost. But yes, I don't know if it came through while I was watching, but when All Might was first crawling on the ground, like when he was on his back and just the suit torn open and everything, I didn't see he still had the bracer on. Um, and then, well, when he started crawling, I saw it and I'm like, ah, yes. He never did use Bakugo's thing, and that looks very similar to his glove, so that is probably what it is. And then we saw at the end, he was going to kamikaze himself, explode himself, just to kill All For one more time, get another massive dent in his remaining lifespan. And he had the bone rivets, so just sort of straight through the explosions. But now he has bigger explosions to deal with. One thing for sure, you can't say that All For One isn't an effective villain, because he saw, like, even from such a distance, he's able to assess everything on the battlefield. Like, he saw UA get stabilized, and Gentle was going to be freed, so take UA out again. He saw that Shigaraki was in a stalemate, so he brought Midoriya's idol to try and distract him, either have Shigaraki break free, or Midoriya to lose his composure and be taken out like that. Because if Shigaraki gets his hands on Midoriya, everything's over. And then All For One, because it's physically there, if he gets his hand on Shigaraki, everything's over. So he's, even in the middle of a battle, he's got so much running through his mind, so many steps ahead. Like, yeah, he gets caught out time and time and time again by his overconfidence and just the sheer willpower of the heroes. But he's always able. It's like that visual he showed. What was it? Was it season 6 or season 7? I don't remember. Of that basically that branching tree. How it's like there are so many different pathways to my goal. I've got things in place for depending on whichever variable we go down. And so even when he gets caught out, he's still planned at least something to help him out. I'm not saying he's like the greatest villain. He's still way too overconfident and cocky to be gets taken out so many times by so many different people because of that. But yeah, it's just, and the reason I was pointing out all of the people who went like that just praying for All Might out is because that's featured heavily in the opening. Like, there are at least 3 different people in like the start of the opening that they show their hands clasped like that. And showing that even if some people think that, oh, it's happening on the other side of the world, it won't affect us, the smarter people know that you should still hope for the good people to win. And if you are a person who believes praying would help with that, then it's smarter to pray for the hero's victory than to just let the villain win. Um, but yes, the next couple episodes should be very interesting. Now, interestingly, the thumbnail for the episode, for the next episode, normally I don't talk about that. I'll occasionally point out that, hey, this exact scene is the thumbnail for this episode. But for some reason, the thumbnail for next episode is from, what is it, season 4? Yeah. It's, it itself never got, a thumbnail, but it's from Infinite 100%. It's when Midoriya has Eri tied to his back using Lemillion's cape, using her rewind to go full 100%. And I don't know why that is the thumbnail for the next episode. Like, is that just Crunchyroll deciding, hey, we're just gonna pull something still from the episode as the thumbnail? Sort of like what I do for my thumbnails, where I'll just find, yeah, this is probably the best place in the episode, take a screenshot, and that's gonna be my thumbnail. Because I know Crunchyroll has done accidental spoilers for their thumbnails in the past. Like in Ruby Volume 9, there was a thumbnail that showed Roman Torchwick. And he was supposed to be dead at that point. So, yeah, having him in the thumbnail, that got quickly changed. So I don't know if that's what the thing with the next episode is or not. Anyway, I'm gonna end this one here. I'll catch you in the next one.